Ready? Great, thank you. For our lacing sample, basically, as I said, you have 4 pieces you need to cut. And I grabbed the wrong. I did the lacing. It's here. 4 pieces plus the lacing. But one thing is about adding boning into that as well. The samples that I was given has no boning in there. But for sure, when you use your lacing, you need to have boning beside the lacing as well. Otherwise, if you lace it up, it's going to start crushing the in between the eyelets. So you have to have something to keep it straight. So let's start. There are different ways of finishing the edges. Whatever happens to the top and bottom of the lacing is something that we can talk about it on the other piece. I'm not even going to bother with finishing the top. All I'm going to do, I'm just going to hold these 2 pieces together, and because when the lacing is happening, this lacing is either in the front or is in the center back. Center front or center back. You most rarely find it on the side seam. So that pieces are attached to other part of the garments. So I'm not even going to bother with those. All you have to do is keep the edge that the lacing tape is going to go into raw. You don't want to finish that edge. That edge has to be raw. So that's for that reason. I'm just going to stitch it together. Just to have these 2 edges together, so I can just insert my lacing in there, or basically I'm inserting the edge in between the lacing tape that I have. This is one step operation, so that means you're just going to insert it and sew it. You don't have to open it up, sew it and flip it, because it doesn't give you that option anyway. So whatever you do, there is an edge stitching to hold this down. And you just have to make sure that your eyelets are equally even, straight, and lining up together properly. So if I cut this from here, obviously I'm going to have these 2 ends, line them up together to make sure the eyelets are even. They are not halfway of each other. So they have to be straight across. So I'm just going to cut this off as well in here. So I want this to line up this way with the other. So I'm going to close that edge as well, just to hold them together. Because this is basically the very last thing, most of the time is the very last thing you're going to do into the corset. So that's 2 edges. So you can do all your other finishing through this opening that you have at the center back of this, or center front, and leave this open until the end, until you are ready to do your eyelets. But if you have to do your own eyelet, not using the tape, so that might be different. That's going to be different, because that edge has to be finished from inside before you start closing everything else. So I'm just going to line this up as well. Just want to make sure that, because the top and bottom of these tapes are different, I want to make sure that they are straight across, even, and open this up and inserting my fabric in between. And edge stitch it. So this is going to give you the tape that you're looking for, that you're using for lacing. But as I said, if you put the lace into this and start tightening it up, that is going to start puckering up like this. It's going to, sorry, just bring it down a little bit or zoom it out. Does it work? I guess it doesn't work. Sorry. Okay, so if you're using this the way it is, so when you put the lace in and pull it, that's going to start puckering like this. And that's what we don't want to happen. For that reason, I'm just going to grab a piece of boning and make sure the ends are rounded up. So in here, for sure, you cannot use Ridgeline because it has to be inserted in. And use the space behind the eyelets, because you, by doing this, the eyelets here is creating another line of kind of stitch for you, or you can use it as a stop for boning to sit here, because you could run a stitch, another stitch here beside the eyelet, but that at this point is not necessary, because the eyelet itself, it stops the boning from moving, and the other stitch that you have is the one that is creating your channel as well. So that reason, I'm just gonna keep my boning in there. Of course, you have to be careful with the bonings. Bonings, they always have to be a little bit shorter than your finished length of the garment. You have to boning has to have room to play and move around a little bit. The ridgeline gets sewn in and doesn't move. It stays in there. But the boning has to have like 1/4 inch on either end shorter. So when you stitch it, you don't stitch over the boning. When you finish the end, you don't stitch over the boning. Boning has to be basically floating freely in there. Okay? That's what we should remember. That's why I'm going to cut it shorter and make sure you round up the corners, so don't leave them the sharp corner, because there's always a chance that they poke through. And this way, doesn't matter how much you pulls with the things, the boning holds it so it doesn't gets puckered. So that's that. We have the lace for it, I guess. Somewhere there, we can just start lacing it. Could you just pass me that lace? The other one, thank you. How you're gonna lace it is up to you. You can go crisscross, or you can just go loop over. I'm gonna go crisscross here. You can go crisscross under or over, doesn't matter. It's all choices. So when it comes for your lace as well, if you are using the lace that has that heat shrink at the end, like a shoelace, so you should be going through easily. This one has been wrapped with the tape, is a little bit heavier, but you need to have some kind of a heat shrink to finish the end of the cord, so it goes in smoothly. I will show you later on with the heat shrink. Have you used heat shrink before?
No.
Those tubes?
No.
There are some clear tubes, or there are different color tubes that you can get it in different sizes according to the cord that you have. And I use it a lot in electrical as well, just to kind of cover the end of the wires. Jesus, come out. Come out. Okay. And could go over, you can go under, doesn't matter. But keep it uniform. I'm just doing it randomly so you can see how different way. But keep it uniform. So when you do this, right now I have a boning in there. When I pull this, the boning on this side doesn't allow it to, but in this side that there is no boning, you can see that it is all puckers, right? So the bonings go right behind the eyelets, not in the front of the eyelets, okay? So it has to go behind the eyelets to keep the fabric flat. So that's one. Whatever is going to happen to the top edge, bottom edge for finishing, we can just practice it on the other one that we have a binding for. So it's either it's going to get sewn from inside or it's going to get binded after. So that's all different details, different, everybody does it differently. But this is one sample for now.